Topping today's news, the government clears the air on the SpaceX rocket booster landings. The Ministry of Health opens another clinic, this time in the Camp Road community. And Prime Minister Davis congratulates more than 100 new cadets who graduated from the National Youth Guard program. Your JCN Evening News. I'm Jcn Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. It could be quite a while before another Falcon 9 booster landing happens in the Bahamas. The government says it is waiting for the EIA, the Environmental Impact Assessment, from the first landing in February, but that is not expected until this summer, and after that the government will have a series of town meetings to air the findings. But F&M Deputy Leader Shannon Cartwright says the entire SpaceX Falcon 9 deal with the government is a flaming rocket of incompetence. In its statement, the government stressed it is working closely with SpaceX and the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection to ensure that there is no impact on the environment prior to future landings. Meanwhile, Mr. Cartwright, in his statement, claimed that the PLP launched this project with zero transparency, ignored the science, snubbed local experts, and gambled with our precious marine environment, all for a $1 million donation and a photo shoot. The government denies there was a lack of transparency, as there have been numerous press conferences and statements released. In the meantime, the government remains optimistic about the partnership, though it says that it views the Falcon 9 landing agreement with SpaceX as a pioneering opportunity to diversify the national economy, support technological advancements in the country, and showcase the Bahamas as a future-forward, globally connected destination. The Davis administration continuing its mission to make healthcare more accessible and affordable. Yesterday, health officials held the reopening of the renovated Anstown Community Clinic. Prime Minister Philip Davis stated that our healthcare system struggled to meet basic needs, and it's in need of being bent back into shape.
This clinic in Anstown has been modernized, not refurbished, but modernized. It's been equipped to deliver 21st century primary care. The infrastructure is strong, the technology is up to date, and the services will now reach more people more quickly with fewer barriers. This is part of a wider strategy, a serious coordinated effort to fix what has long been broken in our healthcare system.
Dr. Michael Dowell, Minister of Health and Wellness, says the Anstown Community Clinic will be a place of healing for the body, mind, and soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, since 1979, the Anstown Clinic has served this historic community as a critical healthcare facility. While it began with providing essential maternal and child health services, over the years, the scope of services expanded to include gerontology, mental health services, and to focus on chronic non-communicable diseases.
Wayne Munro, the Minister of National Security and Member of Parliament for the Freetown constituency, where the clinic is located, offered the following comments.
The history of the clinic discloses that it was the policy of the Progressive Liberal Party to deliver these clinics in the community. And it is the policy of this Progressive Liberal Party administration to improve these clinics and to build more in communities.
That was the Member of Parliament for the Freetown constituency, Wayne Munro. Today at the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Base was the final day of training sessions for the members of the present cohort of the National Youth Guard Community Emergency Response Team. Prime Minister Philip Davis was present at the final training and encouraged the recruits, some of whom will move on to become Royal Bahamas Defense Force officers.
That the country depends on you. I depend on you. And I start from the premise that I love you all. That you all are somebody. When I look in your eyes, I see that you're concerned and you're committed to ensuring that you be somebody in this country. And I can say to you that as long as I'm Prime Minister, I'm going to be here to knock the hurdles out of your way to become that somebody that you want to be.
104 recruits went through 10 weeks of training that was inclusive of disaster management, technical skills, and basic military training. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, Western Hemisphere Department, issued a statement on the Bahamas in relation to the implications of the country's electricity sector reforms. The study said currently low efficiency and reliability in the energy sector paired with high costs dampens competitiveness and holds up growth within the Bahamas. However, it went on to say that the government's electricity sector reform that seeks to increase renewable energy and modernize transmission, distribution infrastructure has the potential to narrow the current account deficit, reduce vulnerability to commodity prices, and boost growth and significantly reduce carbon dioxide emissions. The study that was completed on December 17, 2024 suggests that such projects should have a clear delineation of risk sharing between the private sector and the public sector. And finally, in this segment, F&M Senator Darren Henfield, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs in the Minnis administration, is gearing up to run in the 2026 general elections. Henfield lost his North Abaco seat in 2021 when he was defeated by the PLP's Kurt Cornish. Henfield received 1,085 votes, or 34%, compared to Cornish, who received 1,344 votes, 42%. Asked which constituency he will contest this time around, here's what the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, or the former Defense Force commander, had to say.
I'm not prepared to say where I'm seeking to be nominated. I'm going to leave it up to the party. The party will determine where it's best for Darren Henfield, if there's a space for Darren Henfield in the government of the Bahamas.
It is perhaps wise for Henfield to be cautious, considering that the F&M is still in the midst of its training module and has not officially begun to name its candidates, although it has ruled out several of its incumbents, like Dr. Hubert Minnis in Killarney and Aram Lewis in Central Grand Bahama. With that said, Henfield is confident the F&M will be successful in the 2026 general elections.
The Bahamian people appreciate the Free National Movement has been the government of the Bahamas on more than one occasion, right? We have governed with integrity, we have governed with transparency, we have governed with trust, and we will in the past. The Bahamian people will have an opportunity to look at what is being offered in the Progressive Liberal Party. I'm sure they don't wish to keep that, and an opportunity to move forward.
F&M Senator Darren Henfield. You're listening to JCN News. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back following these commercials.